Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Theoni with Thrifty Divas. Thank you for spending some time with me this morning, and I am here to accept the tag from Tony at Creative Chica Hauls. She tagged me and half of YouTube to do this 15 question fall challenge. Not, question tag. So I accept, and here I am. And I figured I'd do it early morning while I'm waking up to share all my answers with you. And at the very end, I will be tagging 3 people. So make sure to stay tuned to see if you are one of them. Okay, so the first question is favorite Halloween movie. Now you're killing me with this because I'm a movie person and I love horror. So I would have to say the original Halloween. It's definitely up there. I watch it every Halloween. So the original Halloween, and then secondly would be the 1980s Disney movie, which is spooky as hell for a Disney movie. I didn't find out it was a Disney movie till I was in my 20s. Something Wicked This Way Comes. So that's been a big part of my fall and Halloween life as well. So the original Halloween and Something Wicked This Way Comes would have to be my answers to that. Apple pie or pumpkin pie? I guess pumpkin pie, because I only have pumpkin pie around that time, whereas apple you kind of have throughout the year. 3, Halloween party or explore a haunted house? This one comes with a story, because doesn't all of my stuff. So let me tell you about my one experience with a haunted house attraction, okay? Okay. So out east of me, there's a very famous haunted house. We're talking commercial haunted house, not like, Civil War soldier, everybody died haunted house. So I'm not gonna say the company, but if anybody is from Long Island or the area, I will just say it's in Wading River. Okay? On the left if you're traveling east. Okay. So I went there with my mom, my stepfather, my 10-year-old cousin at the time, and this guy that I was dating. We stayed online forever. The line was like so huge. And there's a haunted graveyard before you even get into the house. And then there's like 12 rooms in the house, all themed, and they have people working, so people are involved, which is what I don't like. So we're waiting online. There's all these signs, like we won't touch you, don't touch us, pregnant women, heart conditions, the whole 9, right? No children under a certain age. So the line is huge. The guy in front of us goes, I came here last year, I broke 3 ribs. We're like, what? What are you talking about? I thought they weren't allowed to touch you. What do you mean you No, they didn't touch me. He goes, I got so scared, I flew into a fence and broke 3 of my ribs. We're like, okay. And he was back, right? So while we're in line forever, I did notice a guy went in by himself, alone. He entered by himself and he had like a backpack on. So, okay, so we finally get into the graveyard part. It was okay because they had, for the most part, the people who worked there in costume had like, almost like they were like on an electric tether, like an invisible tether. They were only allowed to go so far from like their post and they had to return. So, it wasn't that bad, but they would jump out and whatever. There was a guy that chased you in a Leatherface mask from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he actually had a real chainsaw, but there was no chain on it. It was it was cool, but my mom was like horrified, and so they would kind of mess with her because they could see she was horrified. So I was just laughing most of the time at how they were messing with her, and then they saw that I wasn't really scared, so they didn't really mess with us until we didn't even get in the house yet. Okay, I'm smoking a cigarette, but I don't want to keep pausing the video, so I'm just going to cover it. So this guy comes out in a really scary mask and getup, and I have my 10-year-old cousin standing in front of me, and like her arms were up, and I was like holding her arms like this, you know, like downward, and her arms were holding me. So this guy comes out and he's standing in front of us, and I would try to move one way to go around him and he would move with me. Then I would try to go the other way to move around him and he would move with me. And I'm like, okay, you can let, you know, like let me by. Didn't say a word. It was very creepy. Then he like goes low. He's this close to my 10-year-old cousin's face, and he's like breathing in her face, and you could like hear it in the mask. Like this close to her face. So I'm like, dude, what the, you know? And he wouldn't move. So, and my parents had like walked on. So my mom like turned around and she saw it and she's like, that's enough now. And then he left, and I'm like, no. So I've watched way too many horror movies in my day, and I'm thinking, I did see that guy go in by himself with a backpack on. Maybe there's just some crazy who like wanted to become a part of the show and like changed into an outfit to like mess with people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, I'm out. I'm not even going in the house. So we leave. We go outside. And I swear it's a cigarette. So we leave. Then the manager's, oh, and then there's this like freaky looking guy, almost like a Dr. Jekyll type guy in like a top hat, like that was working the door. So we walk in, he's like, too scary for you. I'm like, fuck out of here. So then the manager comes out, and we told him, I'm like, no, that's BS, you know, da da da. And then he's like, So then I told him the story about the guy that went in like by himself, and he's like, oh, he's like, well, I hope that wasn't one of my guys, because they're trained not to do that. And then he goes, I mean, I hope it was one of my guys, but you know what I'm saying? And he's like, that is a little weird that he couldn't find like one single friend to go to the haunted house with him. So I'm like, nah, no, bye-bye, you know, boy, bye. So we're leaving, and then he's like, I'll let you guys go in the house, you know, again for free. Like, if you want to give it another try, just, you can go in. So I'm like, all right. So we tried. Okay. So we go in the house again, and then I got through like one room, I think. So one room, and I think there was all like mummies and coffins, and I'm like walking through the room, and I'm like, one of these people is real. One of these is real. They're gonna jump up at me. They did. Okay, fine. Then we go to another room, and then we go into an elevator, and something like touches my head, and I'm like, I thought they weren't allowed to touch you. The guy that I was dating was like, it was a spider, calm down, it's a big giant spider. I'm like, okay, whatever. And the guy I was dating too, he goes, you do realize this is a fake elevator, right? This house is 1 story. I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, then somebody, I don't remember who it was, I think my stepfather went through. My stepfather didn't care, and he went through, I think, with the guy that I was dating. And then that's why we went back. We went back in with them. So somebody turned around to me and goes, you don't have a problem with clowns, do you? And I'm like, can you stop messing with me? And they're like, no, I'm not messing with you. Like, for real, there's one room that's all clowns. And I'm like, forget this, I'm out. So I left, and I looked for the emergency exit, and I peaced out. No. So every time I drive by that house, even like on the off season, I give it the finger as I'm driving by. So I will not do haunted houses where people are involved. I just won't do it. My stepfather did tell me it was really cool. He said like one of the last rooms of the house, there was Hannibal Lecter, like in his like spit mask, and it's you don't even like go into that room, you just like look into it, and it's a big like pane glass window, you know, almost like a line-up room, and you're kind of like looking in, and then the Hannibal Lecter guy just slowly walks up in his spit mask to the glass and goes bang, like really loud on the glass. So anyway, they were saying it was really cool, but yeah, no thank you, I'm good on that. No. Okay, so So, to make a very long story short, because of all that, I would have to say a Halloween party. However, I will totally go to real haunted places. That I'm all about. Like, I took a trip to Salem a few years ago for Halloween, and because that was on my bucket list to go to Salem for Halloween. So we did go to Salem, and I went to the Lizzie Borden house. Woo, woo. Places like that, absolutely. I was supposed to go to Eastern State Penitentiary in Philly, and I was in Philly, but it didn't work out because the person I was with got sick and we didn't go. But places like that, like actually possibly haunted places, I'm all about. But when people who are paid are involved, who just have some weird fetish with scaring people, no, no thank you, no. Okay, so next, store-bought or pumpkin patch pumpkin. So this is a tricky one too. I love going to pick pumpkins. I love the whole process so that I love. But honestly, like cost wise, I love what you can get at a store. Like Costco has like pumpkins like this big for like $6, and it would cost you like 20 at the patch. So I'll like go to a patch and get like one for the experience, you know, or some like corn stalks and stuff. But when it comes to like the bulk of pumpkins, I think I gotta do store-bought on that one so I don't go bankrupt. Okay, 5, favorite fall scent. I think I would have to say like fire pits and campfires. That smell, definitely my favorite fall scent. Favorite fall drink. Well, I have an answer for this one from yesterday, because I had the Starbucks pumpkin cream cold brew, and oh my God, it has become my new favorite thing in life. So the answer to that question is going to be the pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks. A big yes on that. A big hard yes on that. Halloween or Thanksgiving? Halloween. I don't really like Thanksgiving food anyway. I like the family. I like the cowboys. But Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. Most loved pumpkin-based food. I think like pumpkin bread, like a really nice, good, moist pumpkin bread. I think that would have to be my favorite. 9, corn maze or haunted hayride. Now, I've never done either one of those. So to start with, I feel like a corn maze might be a little too much for me. If you're like stuck in a cornfield, like Children of the Corn. So to start with, on a beginner level, I might have to go with haunted hayride on that. But again, I've never done either one, so I don't know. But I will, eventually. Favorite candy to eat on Halloween? Reese's, duh, right? Favorite childhood fall memory? I don't have many, I really don't, but I do always remember sitting down to watch Something Wicked This Way Comes with my Aunt Michelle, who you guys all met, and that was kind of part of the season. So I would have to say that, watching Something Wicked This Way Comes with Michelle. I tried to watch it with my husband once and he thought it sucked and he disappointed
Mama.
me. Yes, baby.
Something the back can't work
It's okay.
because it's runny and hard.
Oh, well, that's all right. I'll be in 1 second, okay?
I'm taking out this white pen.
Okay. Sorry. Favorite Thanksgiving food. So I just said I don't really like Thanksgiving food, but my mom has always made what she called Greek stuffing, but it's not like actually, I mean, it's not like Greeks don't celebrate Thanksgiving. So, but it's just like a type of Greek stuffing, and it is ground beef with white rice and raisins, and then it's spiced up, and pignoli nuts, and then it's spiced up nice with some cinnamon and salt and olive oil and all. So that has always been my favorite, and my mom makes it for me every Thanksgiving and makes enough for me to bring a big container home with me to eat it for days following. Sweater or scarf? I would have to say scarf, because I don't like being hot, and a scarf you can much more easily take off. which also leads me to question 14, wool socks or slippers? And I'm gonna have to go with slippers because I don't want my feet getting too hot, and slippers you can more easily take off. And 15, favorite fall tradition. Going to my husband and I actually started this tradition 6 years ago with each other, and now I love it and I look forward to it, is going to the orchard out east. If you're from here, Harbs, right? Harbs Orchard. And apple picking. And we get a few bags of apples that we pick ourselves, and then I always make a whole bunch of apple desserts also from those apples. So that has become my favorite fall tradition. And there's a picture of me like 9 months pregnant. I mean, like my son was coming in like a week. It was a week before I had him, and I'm like a house, and I'm out in the orchard, have an apple bag around my wrist, and I'm like eating an apple, you know, giantly pregnant a week before he came. So we never stopped doing it. And I actually had his first birthday party at that orchard as well, and all the adults went apple picking, and it was pretty awesome. And we're gonna do it this year too. So that is my favorite fall tradition. So that is my 15 fall questions tag. Hope you all enjoyed just a little bit, some story time this morning, and I will now be tagging to answer these questions Marie at Marie's DIY, Lee at Lee's Home, and Karen at K is for Karen. So hopefully you guys watch this. Hopefully you guys partake in this 15 question fall tag. I will list the questions down in the description box for you to copy and also tag people and to answer. And that is it. So thank you, Tony at Creative Chica Halls, for tagging me in this. And thank you all for spending time with me this morning. And until the next video, stay blessed, everybody. And I love each and every one of you.